This is Grant Putnam, Putnam Landscape Associates. I'm at the Harrison residence, and this is the first video. So one of the areas that we discussed possibly renovating the landscaping was starting about 8 to 10 foot area in front of this wall in this little area right here. Okay, possibly transplanting the two green giant arborvitae to another area of the property. Okay, and then the same thing on this side, trimming back these burning bush, which are kind of overgrown into this area. Okay, and then this tree again has hemlock woolly adelgid, so it needs to be sprayed and have a systemic treatment. You have a lot of hemlocks around the property and they're all looking very sparse, so that would be worthwhile, because again, if you have to replace these or remove these, it's gonna cost way more than just preserving their health. Okay, so again, this is the other landscaping area on this side, which is again another, call it 15-20 feet by 5 feet on this side. It needs to be very shade tolerant plants in both areas. Okay, then we're thinking about fertilizing the lawn, starting going through here. Okay, kind of going up. I would say I would even fertilize the lawn kind of going back on this side of the property. Okay, everything on this right side of the property. And then I would say I would fertilize the lawn from that hemlock tree over here straight this way, going this way. Okay, not the area, not this area over here, but again from here over, because this feels like it's all part of your property and you want to make sure that it looks even and a quality lawn on both sides. So again, starting from here, working our way this way. Okay. These azalea are kind of in the middle of nowhere. So again, you could even transplant these, but you might consider moving these because they kind of look in no man's land. And the same thing with this mountain laurel. You might consider moving this as well. So they're not kind of just by themselves in no man's land. We talked about spraying weed killer on the gravel driveway. Not in the center section here, okay? So leaving this alone, but starting up here, starting in this area, so this way we can see the gravel, and then adding a thin layer of gravel on top. Same thing, you see the hemlock tree? See how sparse that looks? It has insect issues. Okay, and there's a few more hemlock trees in the back as well. From landscape improvements, the birch tree has boar's insect, so it's probably not worth trying to save it. I mean, you could consider trying to save it, see if it comes back after a couple of seasons, and need a systemic in the spring if you decide you wanted to try that. The crabapple tree, and there's a couple of dogwood trees in the back, they need fungicide sprays in the spring, especially since you have a lot of cedars in your property, because the fungal disease that the crabapples get and the dogwoods get transfers back and forth from the cedar trees, which are these guys, to the tree. This is actually the host of the fungal disease, and it transfers over to these two trees. So again, the trees would look a lot better if they were properly taken care of. Okay. This bloodgood Japanese maple, I would trim back the holly bush behind it, and then I would again clean all the dead branches in all these trees where people are walking up and down the driveway, so there's so it's a safe area to walk. Get a tree guy in here and clean up these trees. Another good idea. Okay. Then I'd say starting about where this bloodgood maple is, stretching through here along the front of the house and also the center of the driveway, as well as this, call it 10 foot by 4 foot bed in front of the barn or the garage. This is kind of the area we're thinking about landscaping in the front. You have a lot of quality plants in here that can be transplanted and moved around. And you've got some boxwood, which have mites. That's why they have like about half of the leaves are browns. They have these little tiny black insects that are sucking on them. Okay, zebra grass, which again I would transplant to the back along the wall. Azaleas, which you might end up kind of relocating throughout this area, so you get more of a clear shot going to the house. And then I would have a focal low growing tree in this area. Okay, this is the first thing you pull up the driveway. Put some lights up underneath it. It look beautiful at nighttime. Replace the tree over here, and then possibly add another tree on this corner to frame the house. Okay, so that would be the concept here for the front, and then also you know, look at the different conceptual ideas to make sure that we have a sense of the concept that you're going for landscaping. So that'd be kind of the first step of the design process.